What's up, YouTube? This is Saber NK from Team More Milk. Just doing like a rant. Maybe talk about the 5 top decks right now. First thing I'm going to say is, like, I think the top 5 decks right now, well, obviously the deck that spams these two guys, E-Dragons, or Dragon Rulers as they're called. Next deck is Prophecy. After that, I think it's like Ophion.deck. Mermail's still a good deck. They're still solid, but definitely like not as potent at the other decks. I mean, they're still fast. They're faster at OTKing, and I guess I would just put the 5th deck as like a really fast deck. Maybe Gadgets, just because it's Gadgets with Tinplate. I mean, they're always good. They can make Shockmaster. Just like, or Heroes, like any deck that can make Shockmaster really fast, I think is good. So, what it's come down to is the 3 decks. Well, these 2 decks are the best decks. Like, it's really annoying how you have like a main deck like E-Dragons that's like $100, and then the extra deck's like $800. I mean, $600, whatever. I mean, you need 3 Dracosac, or, well, if I was to play the deck, I would want at least 2 Dracosac, 2 Big Eye. Yeah. I mean, yeah, we could play the deck, but anyways, it's really dumb. Like how everybody can just build the deck, but then the extra is just the extra. You need the extra. And it's disappointing that Yu-Gi-Oh's come to that. I mean, last weekend I played E-Dragons at my locals. It's my first time, well, second time playing with the deck. Like, round 1 was my second duel with the deck. And I just went and, like, 2-0'd everybody. I didn't even, like, I knew half of what I was doing, and I still 2-0'd everybody. So, like, the deck is just that good. Yeah, it is that good. You don't even, like, you could be a scrub with the deck and not know anything that's going on. And I wasn't mopping floors. I was 2-0. I didn't lose one game in a match. I won every single match 2-0. Like, the deck is actually too good. There's really no solid counter to the deck. Like, yeah, there's Imperial Ironwall, and that's like it. Macro doesn't do anything to the deck. Like, yeah, like if you drop Trag or anything like that, there's going to be, oh, Big Eye, Gorse, Big Eye, make Dracosac with the Gorse. So those cards don't really help you. As far as the deck goes, E-Dragons don't really OTK. They, yeah, they don't really OTK. But they have just so much board presence that it doesn't matter. They can OTK, but that's not what they're trying to do. Like, first turn Dracosac, like, you've got a guy that protects himself from destruction effects and at the same time can blow up cards. I mean, that is too good. And they can make that consistently, and then they can just go into Big Eye and take their monsters. Now, the thing about, like, E-Dragons is if you play against E-Dragons, you have to be the better player. Like, there's no getting out. Like, it's just a Big Eye war. And that's like one of the problems. That I just don't like that. It's just Big Eye or Dracosac. That's all you do. So, that's my problem with E-Dragons. It's definitely a solid deck. That's just why I don't know. I like the deck, but I don't know if I'd want to play it. I mean, just because of that, I would hate the mirror match. As far as Prophecy goes, yeah, that's a solid deck too, but I mean, I think it's actually like the better deck in terms of advantage, like just main deck only, not talking about people siding against it or anything like that. Like, it is the better deck, but the problem with it is it has too many cards that counter it. Like, it loses to Eradicator. I mean, what? I can't do anything. So that's the problem with Prophecy. Definitely, I think this deck could be viable. I'm thinking about a build like, I'll run it by you right here. 20 monsters, 6 spells, 14 traps. So basically the build goes like 20 monsters, you play 2 rabbit, 3 heliotrope, 3 caster, that's 8, 2 thunderbird, 10, 3 Karikion, 13, and then what's the other one? Mandragora. Probably play 3 Mandragora at 16, and then play 2 Veiler, 2 Maxi. So that's the monster lineup I would go for. Spells, I would just go for 3 Pandemic, Dark Hole, Reborn, Book of Moon. No heavy, no back row hate. Like these decks you're playing against, like, yeah, I guess you'll be hard pressed if you run into meta or anti-meta, sorry, or just like anything's like heroes or like anything rogue or gadgets. But your Pandemic can deal with their traps. It's searchable. You just kind of have to. I mean, and I would definitely be siding the heavy, and then just run straight like 14 traps. Actually, you could even just cut the Veilers in the main deck. In main deck, 2 Kaikus, because Kaiku hurts. Like, if you get Kaiku Ophion backed up with a safe zone, like, what do they do? So yeah, 2 Kaikus instead of the Veilers, and then what can they do? I mean, E-Dragons, it's good. It's good. I mean, it's not bad. So, and then spells, yeah, the 6 spells, and then maybe like 14 traps. You could throw in 2 safe zone, 3 Dark Illusion, because that's a good card, so that's a solid 5. Play the 1 Warning, that's 6. And then play a solid 8 traps, like maybe 2 Deep Prison, 2 Mirror Force. You can't really play Bottomless because of the E-Dragons. I mean, you're forced to play around. They can play around it. Play the Compulse and play Torrentials. I mean, you could play the Thunderbird game with the Torrentials. So yeah, just play like those traps. Or just take out the Torrentials and main deck Eradicators. Eradicators is always good too. And then that could be a solid way for the Evil Swarm route. That's what I would do at Nationals, actually, just play that. I mean, yeah. As for like the Mermails, there's not really anything. I mean, yeah, they have this first turn they could make against the other decks. Solid first turn play, but I mean, they go Draco Sack. They go with Draco Sack, activate effect, you're forced to negate. And then they just make Big Eye right after that and steal your Abyssgaios, because they can't negate it, it's only once per turn. So that's the problem with this. I mean, if you can make Abyssgaios first turn, then you're kind of set, but you gotta stop the Big Eye. That's one of the problems. And one of the problems with Mermails is now Evil Swarm, you gotta fit in the temp tempo. Temp tempo is like the out, and you gotta make the temp tempo. And yeah, that's just like what I think about the current meta. Really, if you're not gonna play anything meta, just play Shockmaster deck. Decks that I find can make Shockmaster rather quickly. Could play the old gadgets with double summons and offering. Could play the old heroes are good, like Hero Lives build with Bubbleman and Warrior Returning Live. That's always good. Now, an interesting thing I thought of is that would be funny. I don't know about competitive, but playing Gravekeepers with three Imperial Iron Wall. I think that's just funny. It's like, what do you do? It's funny. Really, that's about, like, Geargia can make Shockmaster. Not the quickest, but it's okay. Yeah, it's kind of all I got. I mean, Noble Knights can make Shockmaster, but I mean, any deck that can OTK rather fast isn't bad, because if you can beat them before they just start controlling the shit out of you with Big Eyes and Dracosack, then you're fine. But then again, Priestess, Prophecy deck, they play Threatening Roars, so you got to deal with that bullshit. But yeah, I don't play any MSTs or heavy. Like, heavy is just heavy. Don't play any MSTs or anything. Back row, we're in the format of people don't play back row and they're just playing Evil Swarm. So, and for playing traps, you got to play a lot of them. That's just me. I mean, dragons can just dance around the traps. I mean, yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyways, that's it, I guess. Comment, rate, subscribe, and peace out, YouTube.